Welcome back, friends. Today we are diving into crucial topics from the last episode of The Richest Man Who Ever Lived by Stephen Scott. First, we will explore the seeds of greed and how they can take root in our lives. Greed isn't just about money. It's a deep longing for something that makes us willing to do whatever it takes to get it. Whether it's the pursuit of power, recognition, love, or wealth, greed can subtly take root in our lives and prevent us from achieving what we value most. Stephen Scott shares how greed crept into his life, leading him to make bad investment decisions. He wanted to make a lot of money quickly, and by the time he recognized his greed, his life savings had vanished. Greed has serious consequences. Proverbs warn us that greed can take away the life of the person who possesses it. Many people driven by greed experience emptiness, lack of purpose, and unhappiness. Proverbs adds that greed brings trouble into one's own house, affecting loved ones and causing turmoil. Proverbs states, "There is he that makes himself rich, yet has nothing." Consider the example of Marilyn Monroe. Monroe was an iconic American actress, singer, and model, known for her beauty and talent. She achieved immense fame and success in Hollywood, becoming a cultural icon and one of the most famous women in the world. Despite her wealth and celebrity status, Monroe struggled with severe emotional and mental health issues. She experienced failed marriages, substance abuse, and pervasive sense of loneliness. Her tragic death at a young age highlighted the stark reality that material wealth and external success do not necessarily lead to inner peace or true happiness. Monroe's life serves as a poignant reminder that the pursuit of wealth and fame without addressing one's inner well-being can lead to profound unhappiness. Greed can steal your happiness and your reason for living. At first, you just want a little bit more, but soon it dominates your focus. Proverbs warns, "But he that makes haste to be rich shall not be innocent." Greed is impatient and creates an attitude of wanting everything now. So, how can we detect greed early? Symptoms include constantly wanting more, hurrying to get it, and compromising your values. Then, how do we overcome greed? Generosity is the key. Proverbs says, "The righteous gives, and spares not." Given to others is both the vaccine and the antidote to greed. Rick Warren, author of The Purpose-Driven Life, is a great example. He gives 90% of his book royalties to charity. Stop chasing riches and focus on meeting the genuine needs of others. Proverbs reminds us, "As a man thinks in his heart, so is he." By focusing on generosity, we can prevent greed from gaining a foothold in our hearts. Next, we are exploring another critical lesson: the dangers of pride and how it can undermine our happiness and success. As Proverbs warns, pride goes before destruction, and an arrogant spirit before a fall. Pride is an attitude that can cause devastating consequences in both personal and business life. It's an attitude we all must deal with throughout our lives. If recognized and dealt with, pride's destructive power can be neutralized. However, if ignored or nurtured, it can grow like a cancer. One striking example comes from the 2002 Winter Olympics. Michelle Kwan, the reigning world champion, ended her relationship with her longtime coach to prove she could win on her own. Sadly, pride became the basis of her decision, and she fell during one of the most important events in her life, losing the chance for an Olympic gold medal. In contrast, 16-year-old Sarah Hughes listened intently to her coach's advice, humbly absorbing every word. With no pressure and a focus on enjoying her performance, she executed a flawless routine and won the gold. Pride isn't limited to any economic or social class. It's rooted in self-centeredness, making us act as if our needs and desires are more important than those of others. Solomon warns us about the consequences of pride in several proverbs. Pride can lead to conflict, as Solomon states in Proverbs, "Before his downfall, a man's heart is proud." If you find yourself being argumentative, consider the role pride plays in your attitude and behavior. To replace pride with humility, we need to cultivate gratitude. Focus on the good things in your life and the contributions others have made to bring it to your life. Make a list of what you value most and acknowledge those who helped you achieve them. As you see these contributions, a spirit of gratefulness will emerge and your humility will grow. Become more attentive to the needs of others. Mother Teresa is a prime example of humility because her life was devoted to meeting the needs of others. We don't need to live a life of sacrifice on her scale, but shift our focus to contributing to others' needs, and our gratefulness and humility will grow. Lastly, let's explore the difference between knowledge and wisdom, and how wisdom is the foundation of lasting success. In ancient societies, houses were often built without a foundation, making them vulnerable to storms. Similarly, many people build their lives without a solid foundation, reacting to daily changes without a well-thought-out plan. Solomon teaches us that wisdom is the essential foundation, offering stability and integrity to ourselves. Knowledge is simply the acquisition of information, but wisdom is the correct application of that knowledge. Solomon explains that understanding involves distinguishing between useful and useless information, while wisdom applies the most valuable truth to our lives. One benefit of wisdom is having a checking account of knowledge. Solomon says in Proverbs, "Wise men store up knowledge." This wisdom account allows us to draw upon it in times of need, ensuring we make wise decisions in any situation. Wisdom also helps us understand our behavior. Proverbs says, "The wisdom of the prudent is to understand his ways." By understanding why we act the way we do, we can make better choices and avoid repeating mistakes. Without wisdom, we risk making decisions that seem right but end badly. Solomon warns in Proverbs, "There is a way that seems right to a man, but in the end it leads to death." Wisdom helps us avoid self-deception and ensures our decisions are right for the long term. Solomon identifies the signs of a fool as follows: they close their ears to instruction, speak without thinking, repeat foolish behavior, and don't learn from punishment. In contrast, wise individuals seek and value instruction, reflecting before they speak and learning from their mistakes. A wise person builds a loving and fulfilling home. Proverbs says, "The wise woman builds her house, but the foolish tears it down with her hands." Encouragement, love, and wisdom create a safe harbor for families, while foolish actions lead to conflict and disintegration. So, to acquire wisdom, Solomon suggests several strategies. Search for wisdom like a hidden treasure. Actively pursue it with passion. Listen and remain a learner. Ask questions and seek counsel. Proverbs says, "A wise man will hear and increase in learning." Study the book of Proverbs. Solomon's wisdom given by God offers life and health to those who find it. Finally, receive that wisdom into your heart and let it transform your attitudes and behaviors. Building our lives on the foundation of wisdom ensures stability and success. This was the final episode in our series on The Richest Man Who Ever Lived book by Stephen Scott. See you in the next book. Goodbye.